breakfast table where we laughed and talked all day. So long ago, love was offered. The joy of being together made you want to stay. Take me back.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to take a walk through the garden. And to be honest, there's not much out here, but I wanted to show you the change from July to August. We've had quite a bit of pest pressure, and we've had a lot of really hot weather combined with afternoon showers that caused some scalding on some of the fruits and vegetables. So let's take a look. Now, the last time you were right here, this was lush and green, and it was full of cucumbers. But now, as you can see, they're all gone. They have started dying back, and they were not putting on blooms, and so we had a lot of powdery mildew because of the humidity here, and I kind of feel like they got overcrowded a little bit. But anyway, so no more cucumbers. Here is the tomato row. Now, we took out all of the tomatoes on this side of the row, trying to give our paste tomatoes a chance to bloom and do what they are going to do. But I have a feeling that they're not going to do very much, to be honest. So I don't know how much longer these will stay. We do still have some beautiful cherry tomatoes, but there's still a lot of pest pressure here, and I don't mind spraying things occasionally, but when it gets to the point that they are looking like this, let me take you over here and show you. You can see how they're doing. Now, the tomatoes that you see, for the most part, are paste tomatoes. There's one or two that we weren't quite sure about. Maybe I mislabeled it, I don't know. But we left it anyway. And to be honest, some of these, now I bought a lot of these seeds off Etsy, and to be honest, I don't think I got what I ordered. So I don't know about that. Because a lot of them do not look like the tomato that I ordered. But that's all right. We got enough tomatoes this year. This row, other than a few pepper plants, is completely gone. This was where we had our squash. And yeah, we had so much pest pressure on them. We had the vine borers, and they just succumbed to that. So, you know, out they go. And we were ready for them to be gone, to be honest. I have put up a lot, put up a whole lot more than I thought I did. But look at this beautiful okra. Let me get you down where you can see. Look at this bloom on this okra plant. Isn't this beautiful? And then you have the okra. It needs to be picked today. So Papa will probably get out here and pick this. I love okra raw. So good. That's not what we're after today, though. Over here, this row was butter beans. They're completely gone now. We picked our last picking, and we got them all put away. And I'm proud to say that they did. I think I got 2 cannings and several bags in the freezer. What you see over here on this wall of green is green beans. And we're just kind of letting them go. We're going to let them go to what we call shellies, or even we might let them go a little further, and they'll just be our seed for next year. So, but today we are out here and we are on the hunt for peppers. And we want big, large peppers. I'm going to set you up so I can kind of show you what I'm looking for. Now what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be stuffing peppers. So I want big, nice peppers. I have some Advarsky peppers in the house. And I have some of these. These are just banana peppers. And these peppers grow so well in our area. You hardly ever see any pest pressure or anything like that on these. I'm looking for bigger ones. Let's see, a bell pepper that has a bad spot on it. I'll take it in and we'll stuff half of it. These could be picked very clean. I mean, you could come out here and pick all of them if you wanted to. And we probably will before long and just get them put in the freezer. But I'm just looking for a few more. These are Advarskys, and typically you let these go red. I'll show you some in the house that turned red. But today we are going to be stuffing these. So aren't these pretty? I love these. All right, I saw over here. Let's get over here where I can show you. And the reason that I'm going to go ahead and pick these is because we're having an issue with them rotting on the vine. I'm not sure what that's about. This is what I'm talking about. You see how this one is bad on the end? I'm going to take it in and I'll cut that off and I'll stuff what I can use. Or I might chop it up into, I'm making 2 different kinds of peppers today. Or stuffed peppers today. I'm going to leave the rest of these for a little while. Okay, we're going to see if we see any bell pepper. See, this one has a hole in it. So that means this one is going to go bad. So we're going to get rid of that one. No bell pepper. Let's check the jalapenos. I'm going to get 3 or 4. If I can find 4, I'm going to get 4. And that'll be good enough for what we're going to do today. These are not huge, but they're going to be just fine for what I'm doing today. All right, so in my pan here I have 1 pound of Italian sausage. Now I'm not a fan of Italian sausage, but Papa is. So we're going to cook this up and we're going to stuff part of the peppers that we just picked with this Italian sausage. And I'm just going to go ahead and brown this up, and I'll get Papa to taste it, and then he can see if we need to adjust the seasonings. As you saw, about the only thing in the garden now is peppers and okra, and both need to be picked clean probably, and I need to go ahead and chop up all those peppers, get them ready for the freeze dryer. That's not my favorite job in the world, but I sure will enjoy having the seasoning mix that I'm going to make out of that. So we just want to let this brown, and we don't want to overcook it because it's going to be cooked again when we get it stuffed into the peppers. We do want it done, but we don't want to get it, too overcooked. Now making stuffed peppers, you can do them 1,000 different ways. And I do them, the ones I usually make, I usually make with beef and pork, and we're going to make some of those today too. But every time I do it a little bit different. This needs just a head of olive oil in it. I'm going to turn it down. I just want it to get cooked here. And then we'll see what Papa wants to put with it. The ones I'm going to cook, just stuffed peppers, not Italian, not with the Italian sausage, but with the beef and ground pork. We're going to put some of those caramelized onions that we did that together one day. And I also found in my freezer some caramelized garlic. So we're going to put some of that in there too. And I have some rice that was left over from yesterday's meal. And so we're gonna use that up too. Or at least use part of it up. These couldn't be easier. Papa just wants just the meat in the peppers, and then we'll make some fresh rice when he gets ready to cook this, and he can put whatever kind of, if he wants marinara sauce or whatever kind of sauce he wants over it, then he can do that. Or I can, whichever. Okay, I think that's done. I'm just going to turn it off, and I'm going to keep stirring it for a minute and let it, make sure that it's good and done. So I saw we had some new subscribers. Welcome to Life with Nana. We're so happy you're here. We just are trying to build a community of people who enjoy cooking, growing their own food, and canning and freezing and putting things away for the winter. This is the kind of thing that we like to do here, and so welcome, and I'm so happy you decided to subscribe. Okay, I'm going to move this off the heat and find a bowl or something to put it in. Just a little bowl here. Alright, Papa gave me the thumbs up on that one, so we're just going to let it sit over there and cool. So we're going to get started on the next thing, which is the other stuffing for the other peppers. And in my skillet here, I have some caramelized onions that we did a month or so ago. They've been sitting in the freezer waiting on us to decide what we want to cook. We'll use these all winter long. That's one reason I love to do this. I love the taste of caramelized onions. And then I have some caramelized, I don't know if you can see real well, garlic, and I'm going to put that in there. Looks like a lot of garlic, but garlic mellows when you roast it, so that's what this is. This is roasted caramelized garlic. So, and it will, the flavor will mellow out. And I'm just going to kind of chop it up and move it around. I did put a little olive oil in the pan. because I have a lean cut of ground beef over here. Get that in. And then I have you can see it's packaged differently. This came from the farmer's market from a farmer friend now. He's a friend of ours now. And he has wonderful ground pork. So that put in there. We're just going to start getting this mix together. It's already smelling so wonderful in here with these caramelized onions and that garlic. So good. And we're just using regular salt here. Nothing fancy. I've got to order some pink Himalayan salt. I hadn't got that ordered. I think we're going to go back to that. Now I'm going to add marinara sauce to this. And then probably when I cook it, I'll just put them in a baking dish and pour marinara sauce over the top of them. And put some mozzarella cheese and whatever I have on hand. This is a good way to use up things that you have coming in from the garden. You know, we're in the middle of the Every Bit Counts challenge. And cooking with something is, in my mind, another way to preserve it and use it, because I'm going to have some of this to preserve, and I'm going to have some of this for a meal. And so that's going to be wonderful. We've been talking about it all year, using what you have in your pantry and what you have in your food storage, and try to stay out of the grocery store as much as possible. I won't say I've been completely successful at that. There have been plenty of times I've been in the grocery store. You start a recipe and you find out one thing is missing, but that's part of building a good pantry. That's one reason why I want a big pantry, is that way I don't run out of one ingredient and go to the store and buy 15 ingredients that I didn't have to have and spend more money that I didn't really need to, So I watch a lot of the other content creators on YouTube, and I see their storage rooms, and I have to say I'm a little envious. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about where we live or what we have. I'm very grateful for our home and our neighbors and our neighborhood and all that, but I sure miss being able to have animals. That's something I'd really like to have. And I miss, at our other house we had an extra bedroom that we just devoted to a pantry. And I miss having that space. Well, this is coming together really well. I'll put some black pepper. We have a lot going on here, so you want to go easy on your spices and things like salt and all that, because my rice has already been salted. The marinara that I'm using has already, been salted and all that. So when all the meat gets done, I'll give it a taste and I'll see if it needs more flavor. This is going to be an Italian type dish, so I may go ahead and put some more Italian seasoning in it in the meat stage. You wanna season things as you go, and then give it a taste. That way you don't get it over seasoned or under seasoned when you get it to the table. Turn it down just a little and let it kind of start browning. So we've already been to the gym today. Walked a little over a mile. I don't know, I've been tired, so I didn't walk as far today. Papa walked a little farther than I did. But, sometimes you just don't feel like going 2 miles or 3 miles or whatever it is. But the important thing is that we got up and we went over there and we walked a mile. So, and to be honest, if Papa hadn't have kind of pushed me a little bit, I probably wouldn't have done it. So, he's a good motivator. I'm trying to get just a little bit of this onion and a little piece of this meat. I think it needs just a very little bit more salt at this stage anyway. And even with the garlic and the onion in there, I'm going to put just a little bit of my granulated garlic and onion. I really want those flavors to pop. And I have my Italian seasoning. I've really been using a lot of that lately. I'm going to put about a tablespoon in here. It's always good to put your herbs and your seasonings and things at this stage so they can kind of heat up. It brings out a lot of flavor when you do it that way. So I had a request to make watermelon rind pickles. Never done that before, but I might have to try that. This is smelling so wonderful. Now I want it to get a little brown on it. Those little brown bits give you tons of flavor. And so we're going to let that do that. And then I'll bring you back and add when we add the rest of the ingredients. Okay. So we have our meat done. And I have a cup of rice that I'm going to add. If you don't have caramelized onions and the same things I did, just chop up an onion and put in this. If you like onions, that's going to be wonderful, just like that. You can add more rice, less rice. This is one of those forgiving recipes, and it's also a recipe that you can use up things that you have in your refrigerator. All right, I have some sharp cheddar cheese. That looks like about a half a cup. I'm going to use what's left. Again, using up what's in the refrigerator. I'm going to add some marinara sauce. We're going to just go slow because I don't want this to get too runny. I want it to be where I can stuff my peppers easily with it. So I was talking about the watermelon rind pickles earlier. I had a request. I cannot talk today. I had a request for watermelon rind pickles, and I've never made those before, but it sounds interesting. We're going to give those a try soon. So let's give this a taste and see how we think the seasoning is. Y'all, that is so good. Yum. Okay. We're going to get moved over to the other side of the kitchen so I can get you set up where you can see. Okay, so we're back over here. And I have a plate for all of the seeds and things that we're going to need to do away with. Now, any of these seeds you could save. And what I normally do if I want to save seeds is I just spread them out on a paper plate like this. And I write on there beforehand with a permanent marker, like bell pepper, whatever kind of bell pepper this is. And I put the seeds on there. And I just set it somewhere where it's warm and let them dry out completely. And then you can bag them up and put them in some, like an envelope or, something like that. All right, so we're going to just leave this one like that. It's not that big. We'll lay these, I'll cut those up for something else. Now this one has just a little bad spot. I'm just going to cut that off. It's not going to make that big of a difference. Now some people cut them the other way. I've done it both ways. It doesn't matter. Cut them in half this way. It really doesn't matter. So see, I cut this one this way. It really is not going to make any difference at all. Now I'm going to save these two for Papa's. Let's go ahead and save 3 for his. And I'm going to use the ones that have kind of turned red. This one has a bad place on it. So what I'm going to do is just cut this one in half like this. And then I can use it like that. We're over here and we're cleaning up these peppers. These are Advarsky peppers. And this one has a bad place in it, so I'm just going to cut that right off. That's not going to hurt. When we go to stuff these, we'll just work around it, right? See how hot that smells. Not too bad. I'm not a huge fan of the heat. I know I've said that before. My brother, man, he loves hot. I have 3 brothers. 2 have already gone to be with the Lord. But the brother that's just older than me, he loves hot. He loves hot sauce, and so does his wife, Marlo. She's a great cook. Wonderful lady. Love her so much. Love him so much. He's moved around so much. He's been all over the country, He's lived here and there and yonder. Our grandfather had kind of that wanderlust spirit, where you just can't stay in one place for very long. And he takes after him a lot, I think. But yeah, he told me one time, he said, I'm not going to stay anywhere longer than 10 years. And it's funny, I've been right here my whole life. So. All right, so we're going to stir this around. Doesn't that look good? Wow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour, because I don't want to waste this. I'm just going to pour some of this on the bottom of both my pans. And we'll put just a little of that in there. And then these I can just kind of lay down in here and put the filling down in top, right on top of them. Now I'm going to do the same thing in this pan until I fill up what will fill up this pan. Yeah, that looks good. You see how pretty that is? All right, I decided since I had enough, might as well go ahead and do another pan. All right. Now what I'm going to do with the rest of this is I'm just going to, because it's just a little bit, I'm just going to put it over this pan. And when I get ready to bake this, I will put more marinara sauce over this, and I will put some mozzarella cheese, and it will be absolutely delicious. Now, the first thing I'm going to do to these is to put some plastic wrap on them, so they'll be ready to go, and then I'll wrap them in foil also. Okay, Papa wanted his done plain, and then that way he can do whatever he wants to with it when he gets ready to use these. So this is just the meat from, it's just the Italian sausage. So all I'm going to do is put this Italian sausage in here. When he gets ready to use these, he can take out however many he wants, because I'm going to flash freeze them on this pan, and then we'll put them in a different storage container. And he can add whichever kind of cheese he wants, if he wants to do marinara, if he wants to do something different. He can do that. All right, so I'm going to put the rest of this in a Ziploc bag. And if Papa wants to cook his like I'm going to cook these, then he can just take this out and he can pour it over this in a 8x8 pan and put whatever seasonings and things that he wants on it. So that's 3, 4, probably 5 meals that we've put together in just a few minutes here. And I love that, don't you? So, plus we have a little bit left here that he could make. Just that and rice would be good for him if he likes that. He likes that like that. Cut up some tomatoes and different things in it, and that would be delicious. So it didn't take a lot to fill up all the peppers that I had in the house. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you'll come back again. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. It really helps push our videos out into that YouTube algorithm land, and more people that can see it, the better, right? So I appreciate every single one of you. It is so fun to me to know that from coast to coast we have Life with Nana family members. I love it. Remember, Nana loves you. Nana's so, so proud of you. And you always have a friend here. I'll see you on the next one.